This is the Nations Conspire channel. Welcome to today's show. The Elon Musk deception has really picked up speed. Since covering Elon Musk many years ago, I never thought I would see the day where Christian conservatives would be rooting for somebody, cheering for somebody, and thinking that somebody who is literally trying to take human beings and alter what they are by putting implants and brain implants, and in fact, out of Elon Musk's own mouth, nanotechnology inside of human beings' bodies to gene edit them. I never thought I would see the day, because for years and years and years, everything Elon Musk has talked about aligns perfectly with everything that Christian conservatives are supposed to be fighting against. All it took was for him to suddenly say that he supports Donald Trump, and now to be side by side with Donald Trump at every rally. You see these two together everywhere they go, from UFC fights to spending Thanksgiving together. And somehow these Christian conservatives aren't waking up to what's going on. I mean, as if it wasn't clear enough with just using common sense logic with the assassination attempts on Trump to know and understand that DARPA, that the deep state could kill anybody at any time without even trying to assassinate them with a bullet. But if they did choose one, they have a thing called the magic bullet that they could use, which literally can turn and hit a target from hundreds of yards away, if not miles away. But of course, they botched the assassination attempt. Everybody thought that it was a miraculous sign from God. They couldn't realize that they were being baited in. The false prophets all over the internet who constantly say they have visions from God, that God's telling them that Donald Trump is going to save humanity, continue to put them deeper into the psychosis. And here is where we are at the end of 2024, where Christians literally are begging, bowing, and pleading with Donald Trump to return to office after they think they voted him in, and are so excited with the promise of the future. But they don't seem to realize what the promise of the future actually includes. And Elon Musk's father did an interview with Sky News Australia, where they were talking about Elon Musk and his father suggesting that babies be bred like horses. That's right, babies be bred like horses. Now, that might sound a lot like eugenics, because it is, but it's deeper than eugenics, because what they're trying to do is create eugenics in the digital age, which is transhumanism, getting technology inside of your body. And of course, recently I talked about the pregnancy robots, how Elon Musk and Tesla have a plan so that women can have their babies grown in an artificial womb. Still, it's not waking conservative Christians up. He's talking about and already doing the experiments with the Neuralink, where he's openly talking about telepathy and how your brain can interact with the computer and vice versa. Of course, they only tell you that it's your brain that's giving orders to the computer, but in reality, it's really working the other way, where the computers can give orders to the brain. Nobody's paying attention. And this is the interview that Elon Musk's father did, where they start to go into detail talking a little bit about technocracy. So pay attention to that.
Certain countries, like the US, do have ageing populations, but my conversation with Errol also reveals views which veer towards selective breeding.
Elon once told a biographer, if each successive generation of smart people has fewer kids, then that's probably bad. Is he talking about eugenics there?
I wouldn't call it eugenics as such, but every nation has practiced a certain form of survival of the fittest. One need only go to England and go to Cheltenham area, the horse breeding area, and say, look, we're not going to breed the horses anymore by any form of standard. I've got a few old horses I found in Nigeria, and we're going to just mix them with your racehorses. They'll say, no.
A more sanitised version of pro-family politics took centre stage on the campaign trail.
I consider myself to be the father of fertilisation.
The president-elect vowing to make in vitro fertilisation free to anyone who needs it. California is the world's fertility capital.
We are busy.
I'm invited into a leading IVF clinic in LA, where they're expecting a big boost in business. Patients at this clinic can choose not only the gender of their baby, but their eye colour too. It's Silicon Valley meets family planning.
How big a part is Elon Musk going to play in the future of IVF?
Musk is a technocrat. He's an intellectual genius in multiple areas, and everything he touches seems to turn to gold. There's not much that evolves as quickly as Musk's technology, but IVF has done that, and I think he's going to find that very attractive.
Musk has invested millions in fertility research, but he's navigating his own complicated family life. In the hills outside Austin, Texas, there are rumours he's bought a compound to house some of his children and their mothers together. Musk denies this is true, but soon he could be helping to design family policy across this country. Martha Kellner, Sky News, Los Angeles.
So isn't that interesting, right? A hybrid race of human beings. All of a sudden, you would think that people would start waking up to what they're really trying to do here. And of course, what they're doing with conservatives. They needed to put somebody aligned with Donald Trump to lure Christians into going forward with the fourth industrial revolution and AI governance. That is the message. That is the meaning of all of these secret meetings that happen around the earth, the Bilderberg meetings, the Council on Foreign Relations, NATO, everything they talk about is AI governance, specifically the World Economic Forum, because the fourth industrial revolution and AI governance is a creation of Klaus Schwab. But they don't seem to understand what it is because, of course, the job of the alt-right media is to keep them all in bed with Donald Trump so that they think that everything Trump does is an act of God. They don't understand what Elon Musk's role is in all of this. They think he's just some quirky, weird science tech billionaire who's smarter than the rest of us, and they can't even connect the dots with the occult symbolism with Occupy Mars and everything else that I've exposed in the past that they should understand. So a couple of weeks ago, Elon Musk tweeted out Novus Ordo Seclorum, of course, the new order of the ages, and it looks a lot like what you just saw, what you just heard from his estranged father. Real estranged, he's wearing his Occupy Mars shirt. Elon Musk has tweeted out in the past, accelerating Starship development to build the Martian technocracy. You heard the man in that video clip talk about how Elon Musk is a technocrat, but you probably don't know much about it. So let me just give you a quick breakdown. You see here in Science We Trust, back in the first half of the 20th century, a group called Technocracy Incorporated wanted to reorganize society by putting scientists in charge. The movement flamed out, but its underlying message still appeals to many in Silicon Valley. Does that sound interesting to you, that whole Science We Trust? Remember they just went through this whole thing about trusting the science, and everybody out there was actually for once finally questioning the science, but they were telling you, hey, you can't question the science. We can label whatever we want as science, which is really Big Brother, your government, and you have to go along with it in the name of science. So when you hear in Science We Trust, and they tell you about reorganizing society by putting scientists in charge, you probably are cringing, but you might be saying, well, what does that have to do with Elon Musk? Well, do you know who was at the head of this whole movement, this whole technocracy movement? Well, it was Elon Musk's grandfather was. And on October 13th of all days, which is the beginning of Samhain, the period in October from October 13th inverted 31 from the 13th to the 31st, where massive occult human sacrifice rituals take place. So I'm sure it's not coincidental that Joshua Haldeman appeared in city court to face 2 charges under the Defense of Canada Act in regards to the technocracy movement and its affiliation with politics. So politicians or members of political parties were not allowed to join the technocracy movement. It was founded in New York in 1933, so there's your 33, as an educational and research organization promoting a radical restructuring of political, social, and economic life in Canada and the United States with science as its central operating principle. Now think about what Elon Musk's role is with Donald Trump. The Department of Government Efficiency, organization, radical restructuring of the political and social economic life. That's what they're doing, and they're convincing you that it's something completely different. Elon Musk, in fact, is not even a capitalist, even though Elon Musk is a trillionaire. Now, if you haven't paid attention to some of the videos that I've done recently, or you're new to all this stuff, Elon Musk recently tweeted out somebody else's tweet. He reposted it where they said Tesla's front and center of the fourth industrial revolution. And that's what this is all about. Transhumanism, AI governance. Elon Musk is literally proud of the fact that somebody tweeted out that Tesla was the front and center of the fourth industrial revolution. And of course, the fourth industrial revolution has been written by Klaus Schwab. So if he was opposed to the World Economic Forum and against them, then he wouldn't be proudly saying that his company is at the forefront of this industrial revolution, which was supposedly created by a complete psychopath, right? Who is trying to bring about AI governance, which is the message of the World Economic Forum. Back to the technocracy. In technocracy, there would be no politicians, business people, money, or income inequality. Starting to sound a little bit like communism. Those were all features of what technocracy called the price system, and it would have to go. There would be no countries called Canada or the United States. Think about what I talked about recently. Think about the states breaking away from the federal government. Donald Trump even saying that Canada could become the 51st state, or they could just call it the North American Union, which is eventually what the plan is. So there'd be no countries called Canada or the US, just one giant continental landmass called the Technate, a techno-utopia run by engineers and other experts in their fields. In the Technate, everyone would be well housed and fed. All material needs would be taken care of whether you had a job or not. Is that starting to sound a little like communist Democrats to you? Because, well, it's exactly what it sounds like. When you hear things like being well housed and fed, income equality, not inequality. These are all things we hear as talking points for the Dems, right? And everybody goes, we don't want that. We don't want communism. And you hear well housed and fed. It sounds a lot like prison, doesn't it? With those freedom cities that are coming. Elon Musk, even at the World Government Summit in 2017, talked about why the world needs a universal basic income. Joshua Haldeman was his grandfather. Elon Musk has openly been anti-Republican, anti-Christian, a face of atheism, and of course the face of transhumanism for quite some time. But all it takes is for him to say that he's casting his vote for Donald Trump. All it takes is for him to say that he's going to put up lots and lots of money and run a sweepstakes if you go and vote for Donald Trump. I mean, do you know what getting baited into something is? People were able to see that when they were trying to stick a needle in your arm and tell you that you can get a free gift card to Arby's a couple of years ago, and everyone was saying, well, this is a little desperate. This is a little much. The government's giving us stuff now if we go and do something they want us to do. I'm suspicious all of a sudden because whenever the government gives you something for free, you should be suspicious. Well, Elon Musk was doing the same thing with the fake election and, of course, was going out of his way to let you know that he promises your vote actually counts. Don't listen to people that say you're opting into a contract, that you're opting in to be governed. Now, another tweet from Elon Musk, which I mentioned earlier, the tweet about Martian technocracy. He also tweeted out underneath it back in 2019, again, when he was openly a Democrat, so it wasn't very suspicious then, but of course now people should be paying attention, especially since all of a sudden we have some Silicon Valley nut job who's trying to get Neuralink in your head, standing side by side with the potential president of the United States, and is going to have a prominent role in reorganizing the government and bringing about AI governance. He tweeted that underneath it. He wrote, anarcho-syndicalism. Underneath that. Anarcho-syndicalism. You might hear that. You might say, is that anarchy? Well, let me tell you what it is. It's a form of anarchism. It sees labor unions as something which will cause revolutionary change. This change will give freedom and equality to the workers. Oh, okay. And what else do they want to do here? Well, anarcho-syndicalists want to get rid of the wage system and capitalism. And for anybody out there that's looking around, go, wait a minute. Donald Trump's a capitalist. Elon Musk they're capitalists. They're very, very rich men. Well, do you understand how this globalist communism works, this global new world order? These people who are rich and wealthy will remain rich and wealthy. In fact, richer and more wealthy. The rest of us, the people who are poor, the people who are the middle class, will be slaves to them if they, of course, allow you to live, and they don't create their very own version of the Hunger Games, which is what's likely coming next. So these are all things that should alarm people. Elon Musk is not your friend. Elon Musk is one of them, and all it took for you to believe him was for him to say he suddenly found God, and for you to smile and say, yay, that's great news, and to take him at his word, and then to tell you that he's going to change the government. He's going to audit the IRS. You're being baited in. And if you don't become aware of what they're trying to bring about with AI governance, then you're not going to wake up. Donald Trump is going to bring about AI governance. The left and the right are working together. They would never have gotten conservatives on board with AI governance if they didn't do what they just did, which is making a government look completely incompetent, gaslighting you every day with stories about how the main concern of the government was to suppress free speech and to prop up people who John Bobbitize themselves, to prop up people who openly announce their pronouns, to give them promotions based on their skin color. By design, this irritated and drove conservatives crazy. But instead of actually starting a revolution against it and opting out of the current government, everybody put their vote, opted in, and think and hope that Donald Trump is going to change the day. And they don't even know what AI governance is because they're so obsessed with their technology, they don't even realize that all of this that's going on, this hypnosis that everyone's under, is all caused from this technology. The enslavement is coming via this technology. And they're going to tell you that these are all things that benefit you. Digital ID, no more migrants crossing over, no more illegals in your states. Yay, yay. Oh, wait, your digital ID can also lock you out of your bank account. But Trump would never do that to me. Trump would never lock me out of my bank account. He's a good person. God stepped in and saved him because the same controlled mainstream media, the Democrat media, even used the same talking points, which you now conveniently believe, that divine intervention got in the way, right? So we're talking about eugenics, but we're talking about transhuman eugenics in the digital age. And if you don't know, again, some of the stuff that Elon Musk is showing us, here's just a few clips, if you haven't been paying attention, of what he's bringing about with these humanoid robots, making it like it's a joke, like, hey, you come home from work, and one of these things can make you, a margarita. Oh, yeah, great, let's bring it in the home. Meanwhile, on the flip side of this, Elon Musk is telling us that artificial intelligence are demons, and every single movie that's coming out every other week is about AI getting inside of your home and murdering your family. Sounds great, right?
I mean, with artificial intelligence, we are summoning the demon. You know those stories where there's the guy with the pentagram and the holy water, and he's like, yeah, he's sure he can control the demon. Didn't work out. I mean, with artificial intelligence, we are summoning the demon.
Robot with arms and legs instead of a robot with wheels. And we've made a lot of progress with Optimus. And as you can see, we started up with someone in a robot suit, sort of down, and then we've progressed dramatically year after year. So if you extrapolate this, you're really going to have something spectacular, something that anyone could own. So you could have your own personal R2-D2 C-3PO. But fundamentally, at scale, the Optimus robot, you should be able to buy an Optimus robot for, I think, probably $20,000 to $30,000 long term. So, and what can it do? It'll basically do anything you want. So it can be a teacher, babysit your kids. It can walk your dog, mow your lawn, get the groceries, just be your friend, serve drinks, whatever you can think of, it will do. And yeah, it's going to be awesome. And I think this will be the biggest product ever of any kind. Yeah. Because I think everyone, of the 8 billion people of Earth, I think everyone's going to want their Optimus buddy. And there's going to be maybe two. And then they'll be producing products and services. I predict, actually, provided we address risks of digital superintelligence, 80% probability of good outcome. Look on the bright side. The cup is 80% full. The cost of products and services will decline dramatically, and basically anyone will be able to have any products and services they want. One of the things we wanted to show tonight was that Optimus is not a canned video. It's not walled off. The Optimus robots will walk among you. Please be nice to the Optimus robots. So you'll be able to walk right up to them, and they'll serve drinks at the bar.
Got it. You win. Can't beat a robot. I just don't touch it. Okay.
In this year's conference in January, mastering the fourth industrial revolution, gene editing.
Exactly.
Opening a whole new horizon for medical science.
And you see, the difference of this fourth industrial revolution is it doesn't change what you are doing. It changes you. If you take genetic editing,
right.
Just as an example, it's you who are changed.
Well, that, ladies and gentlemen, is what they have planned. That's what hell on earth looks like. Your fourth industrial revolution, which of course will change you. Because when the technology is inside of you, and you're gene edited, which is already underway, you'll no longer be what you once were, which is human. This is about a hybrid race. Have you seen the pivot? Are you paying attention to the pivot that has taken place here? In 2020 and 2021, the government expected you to be so fearful of a virus that they created that they expected you to not look at politics, not look at any of the stuff that they're already working on and ingraining in you, to go and get something in your body. The majority of people, even Trump supporters, did not obey. And because they didn't obey, they're now pivoting in a different direction. They've now aligned the face of nanotech, brain chip technology. And no, I'm not talking about Bill Gates. I'm talking about Elon Musk with Donald Trump, in hopes that you'll see, you'll just look right past it. You'll look right past it because Donald Trump, while they're trying to get this stuff inside of you, which they could do in different ways, people can willingly go and get a Neuralink, or you could have it injected in you, which he has openly talked about. But while they're showing you this stuff right in front of you, you won't pay attention to it because you don't understand it. Instead, you'll just hear Donald Trump talk about how he's going to close the borders and how we're not going to have insane curriculum in the schools. And you won't even realize that they're trying to get this technology inside of your body. And what they're trying to do with the government right now, when they're talking about government efficiency, is bring about AI governance, which is why the Democrats deliberately acted the way they act, because they're all working together. The Democrats know they're playing the role of incompetent, bumbling fool. The people who vote for them don't know because they're beyond common sense at this point. They knew by doing what they did, was showing you this just chaos in Congress, Democrats pulling fire alarms. Remember some of the stories I've covered? Lauren Boebert getting groped in Congress. The focus is just constantly on the left and the right and the individual politicians and making it look incompetent. So when they make it look incompetent and then they say, we're going to change this, we're going to make it more efficient, your tax money's not going to get pissed away in Ukraine or pissed away here, even though we don't even have to tell you where your tax money goes. We told you it was going to Ukraine so we could gaslight you every single week by telling you that billions of dollars of your tax money were going to over to Ukraine for who knows what. Right? So then you go, I want my tax money accounted for. I want to know what's going on. They go, well, now we got this government efficiency group here. We're going to audit the IRS. We're going to audit this and that. We're going to get to the bottom of all of this, but we're going to have to use technology because it's more efficient. You're going to go, good, use the tech. I'm sick of these Dems. I'm sick of these pronouns. Of course you are, because it's all been done by design. Problem, reaction, solution, right? Every single thing along this plan is being orchestrated, every single step. And if you blink, you might miss it, but you should be able to see it. A tree is known by its fruit. It's right in the Bible. A tree is known by its fruit. If you look at Donald Trump, if you look at Elon Musk, if you listen to the stuff that they've associated themselves with over the years, if you look inside of Donald Trump's apartment, if you look at how he's deliberately being portrayed as Apollo, if you look at all the stuff that Elon Musk is openly doing with humanoid robots and brain chips, You should be able to see the truth. You should be able to discern. But unfortunately, people are so blinded. People are under such hypnotism that they can't. And the next thing you know, these people will be willingly taking the mark of the beast. And at this point, like I've said before, I wouldn't be surprised if Donald Trump and Elon Musk market it as the mark of the beast and say that they're joking, and these people go and take it because they're so blinded by this world. I thank everybody for being here. I hope you're all doing well. God bless you and your families as always.